share the screen. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, Pradeep.
Thank you. So what were we doing yesterday?
Finding elements.
So now you're I hope you have an idea on how we can find an element and what property to pick, and if in case just general properties, if it is not being identified, we have anchor, we have image based very rare, last option, just keep it, and then index. So yeah, that are the things. So when we go coming to the test case part, the test case. So
Pradeep,
this is the
I
test.
have
Yeah.
questions.
Yes, sir.
After scan, when we were in the module section in properties, you were edited a few of the description and a few fields, right? Only
Right.
edited part, whatever we
Right.
can edit. So how we would differentiate, like it is not on the web page, right? Whatever we are editing it, it will not do anything on web page, right? It's only
No,
for
it
client.
yes, correct. Only to our modules. Now, when you say description over here, so for an example, for this modules, if you see some of the other standard models, for example, this one. So this module, if you see, to select again the any columns against this thing, you can just right click on this header again, column chooser, and then you would have all these properties, what engine it is and all this. From here, we can yes select the description. So description here again, it is given to that module and the attributes. So just as an extra information purpose, what this module would be like if someone is referring for the first time and if they want to know. So they have general description of that module related stuff. So similar way as the standard modules are, if you want any of your custom modules to have the description. So by default, yes, this description is empty because you're nowhere or Tosca doesn't give any description for the custom modules that you create. But yeah, explicitly, if you want, okay, this module is only for registration purpose, is what if you just want to write that description. So here, just registration, something like this, if you just write it, that description, again, it would be shown over in this panel, you see, against each element. And yeah, when things are simple, yes, we can understand, but sometimes when you want to give some extra information to the user, very rarely, I'm like, to be frank, I have not even used this feature once. So while I'm training to view, just in the training purpose, yes, sometimes I just go through this, but in real time, yes, we haven't used these things. So yeah, most of these features, whatever this kind of I'm telling, and few of them we don't even use it in day-to-day life.
Okay. Yeah. I have other, but now if I see that question, I understand. No, the other one is very simple. Like in a property section, it is divided into multiple subsections, right? Technical, transition,
Correct.
properties. Those are in a web page. Those looks very simple, very less. But when it compares to the Tosca section, it shows more properties. But yeah, again, I recollect your words. It is giving extra thing for Tosca, and it is shown up all these, right?
Correct, exactly. That's right.
Okay, okay.
And the
So,
only thing that you can see here from this property section, which you would be later referring, for each module that we create, for each item that is going to be created in your Tosca workspace, what Tosca would do is it internally creates a unique ID in these numbers, and then this unique ID would be helpful again. So this unique ID, let's say for this module and for even for folders, whatever you do, it creates. So this unique ID is based on this. Tosca is like trying to differentiate. If you have two things with the same name. If I just say copy and then paste, so it says this underscore one. But then again, same module, same thing. But which one to use when you take it in, take this thing into your test case. Let's say you have also taken first one, and then you are also taking the next one. Again, the same elements, same things. But yeah, if you are taking this one as well, now so if you take this one and multiple things, now how it is going to now this register login and demo. So this we can rename, right? Rename to anything else. And when we rename, now this module or this attribute, how is it going to link with that this particular module only? This is based on this unique ID. When we drag drop again for this item, what it does is it creates that unique ID. It has that. So anything, so any item, anything, it is identified based on this unique ID only. So in Tosca, every time when you create something randomly, it creates some unique ID in this format. And let's say if you wanted to find, okay, you have unique ID, uh, so you have
Pradeep,
unique
for
ID.
same functionality also different IDs will be created, right? According to you.
What is that?
For example, if you're repeating the same stuff,
Yes,
for
yes,
example, if you, yeah,
yeah, yeah. Same thing. If you're copy pasting again, it creates a new thing, new unique ID. Identify. Tosca would say, okay, it is a new item, a new thing, uh, that way. So on the home page, you have an option, something called object. So nothing but go to object or jump to object. So if you click this, you would get a window of the screen. And let's say we are on the test case section, and we have some unique ID of any item. For an example of a module. So click this option and paste this unique ID over here. And if you click on OK, so it jumps to that module. See, it goes to there and then it shows us this. So basically this would be useful when, like, in generally day to day, when we use this, like someone else has created a unique module, and if some other process has created, and we want to know, like if we have hundreds and thousands, and if we are kind of not searching it in an easy way, we can ask them if they have did it and similar page, if they did similar element, if they have done, we don't have to again redo it. Instead of that, we can ask if we know who was working on that module or a page, and then if they had did it, we can connect with them. And once we come to know, we can ask, okay, can you just share us the unique ID of that module so that I want to use it in my test case? So they'll share that, and then that is where you just have to click this option, come here, paste it, and go there. That's it. So you can see this, and then you can use this, or directly, yes, you can right click and what is this here? Last option, search and add test step, and the module name. And module name would be basically unique. It should be unique. In that way, if you give, it would be better to identify, easier to identify as well. So it is like this, what we have to do. Yeah, first let's focus on the test case part. So if we click, before we deleted, it shown us the warning, meaning it is used in the test case. Do you really want to delete it, is what it asked. And I said, okay, I delete it. And once we deleted it, you see here, this module was there, right? Now nothing is there in this. Now even this module won't be, uh, uh, so we cannot even jump to this module because this is now not a module. The module has been deleted. So yeah, you can just remove those things. Yeah. Since we have this page, we have the login. So open URL. As I said, so what details can we enter? Let's close this. First, for the URL tab, we need to give the value of our URL that we want to launch. So I want to launch this URL. So in the value section, I'll give this as uh, that URL. I will give it here. and then use active tab. So if you have, if with one URL, again, if there are multiple tabs open and then you just want to focus on the active tab, kind of this thing. So here we have to give these options, but basically when in general scenarios as well, this is very rare scenario where we use. Only thing is, yes, launch this application, and then from here only we will try to navigate to anywhere else. So these options are not that useful for now. Uh, so once we log in, like when we launch this URL, we will get only this tab, this page. So we can work on this one directly. And with this help, open URL is nothing but now we are, this is a module, right? Again, jump to the module. You can see this is from this module standard X engine HTML open URL. So this module is used to open the browser and launch this application. Now, as I say, what are the other things? So execution part, I'll say a bit later. So best approach, best thing is, again, whenever you're creating a test case, uh, first of all, give a proper naming to your test case. Naming conventions, not only to test case, to the folder, to the modules, anywhere, to the test step, everywhere, even to the module attributes that you create. Even that, sometimes something is not relevant, so it has to be somewhere relevant, and give that changes, so that this would basically help even for you to refer after a while, like kind of after 6 months or after a year, when you just review, go to your test case. Then if you write it clearly, even you would be able to understand. If in case you don't write and something while developing, yes, you thought in a different way and you did it, but while again revisiting that test case, even you might get confused, or wouldn't have information at the first time by just looking into the things, because few things might not be clear. Uh, so if it is email ID, email here, and you have given username, and when you open launch browser, you would see over there it is email. So the name of the module attribute here, it is username, and if you say it is email over there. So again, if you execute, it would be going to that element only, but then naming convention as well, you have not given it in a proper way. So uh, and sometimes if it's only you, yes, you understand, and you, if you somehow remember, that is fine, but then if someone else from your team would refer, they won't know, right? You have changed the email to the username, and then this username is nothing but that field. So things won't be clear to them as well. So as a best practice, yes, write the, what I say is, the naming conventions, and even to the modules. If you see, this is what our module name, but uh, to write it in detail more, what we can say is, this is demo web shop. Again, the registration related thing is there, right? Either that, or I would say this is my home page. I would say this is my home page, and this is my login page. So demo web shop dot login, if you want to keep it this way, or follow proper same similar kind of syntax, similar kind of informations. So if you don't want to give this way, you can say demo web shop. Demo web shop is our application name, and then the page name is what, or the screen name is what we are trying to give it. So with this, it would show.
Pradeep,
Yeah.
in generic scenario, like in corporate culture, how would you give this? Like you will be following the same, or you just we write the functional testing, right? So we write test case over there. So we give the test case number over here. How is it followed,
Ye-
Pradeep?
Yes, for the test case, again, when we have a manual test case against that we create, if we create if we are creating automation test case, then for traceability, for tracking purpose, yes, we give this name to similar to the what we have in uh, our this manual test case. So I'll just copy paste this one. I'll just keep it. So here, what we will be doing is like my current project and the test case that I would be working on. So their names would be like uh, ID as 1 2 3 4 5, something like this. ID underscore then the test manual test case name. Manual test case name is login functionality, valid functionality, login functionality check, or invalid login functionality, valid login functionality, something, some name of the test case. That name we give it here. And
Okay.
now this one, when you see it, ID generally it would be unique, and this ID, based on this unique ID, even we would be able to find our test case. So if you have hundreds and thousands, and if you just want to find one test case which is with this
Yeah,
ID,
that's what
then we
happened
can
because
find it that way.
when you write the test cases in any, you know, test suite or something like that, in Jira or ALM, wherever you want to write. So it is better to, identify by the ID itself. So that would be
Correct,
easy to track. Yeah. Thanks, Pradeep.
correct. So that's where, yeah, like that we would be writing it. And then so yes, we have got this URL, and so again the step open URL. Again, when you see the test step uh, against the test case, you would have steps. Again, steps as well. Yes, whatever you have written for your manual, the same is what you can write it here according to the operation that we are performing. So what are we doing here? We are just launching application in the browser, right? Like, or you can say open application. So open application. So first step or first test case, and then open application, and next step is so what do we have here? I'll just remove this. We'll take it from starting again. So how we can take, just drag and drop if we know it over there, or where is this, under test case you have option called plus search and add step. So we have selected this test case, and then we are clicking this one. So whatever you are going to select would be under this. So here I want to select the module which is a home page. If you see, just now we have written home page, right? So you see this home page. Before home page we have written demo web shop. So that module. So if you have similar things but different proper namings, if you have given with that keywords, if you search it, you would get that modules easily. And then where it is coming from, it is coming from modules application demo web shop homepage. It is coming from there. So if you need this, yes, use it. Else, uh, I need of a login page, right? I know I have renamed it to login page. So I'll say login, and then it is this. This is the module that I want. So I've got this. So once we uh, open this application, we will get this screen. So this is our home page. Generally, first page that it opens, I consider it as home page. So that home page, and then in this home page, let's say I just want to test the login functionality for giving some invalid details. That's it. So the next step would be to click on login. That is my second step. So click login. After coming to home page, I want to click on login, right? How we can do? So again, before this login page, as soon as I launch this, I get home page. So home page, from home page, what am I doing? I'm clicking on login. It's from home page, I'm clicking on login. And for login, I have already scanned a module of this home page, and I want to use this and click the login link. So that's why I would be using this module, dragging and dropping into my test case. And here it is. I will use this as my second step. So I'll just click, drag, and keep it after this step. So this is my second page. And here, if you see, okay, I want this one to be uh, clicked, right? So link, generally we click it. How we can click? We can click in two ways. One is just for links, for buttons, Tosca by default, it gives this click and right click, some options. So if you see in this, here, the value range, for the value range against this module, it is there. So this things, whatever you do it here, that suggestions would come over there. So uh, yeah, by default, when it is creating, we are not giving it anywhere, right? Even for the text box or this thing. So you see, click, double click, right click, all these things it is giving. And for checkbox, it is like true, false, it is giving. And login, click. So this is button is click. Text box flicks. Uh, for text box, it is giving click, double click, right click. And for the link, it is giving click right click. Same things, just the suggestions is what it would be coming here. If you see this drop down, yes, this is coming from that value range thing. And now I just want to click this. So on an element, if you just want to right click, or also if you just want to mouse over, let's say just mouse over and don't want to do anything else, so how would you do that? Just open this curly braces, and if you open this curly braces, you would have list of items here. Again, what all things you can do in Tosca. uh, let's not jump into this, but yeah, mouse over, if you want to do, you have something called mouse over. So uh, so again, this mouse, if we use it, again, we can perform click, double click, drag, drop, long, all these options. Syntax is in this way. And the details again, as an example, see mouse and then right click, then jump 10% percent is on that element. So if this is the element, this is 100%. If this is 100%, out of that 100%, let's say we said 50%. When we say 50%, first thing, which is half, right? So from here to here, if it is 100, from here to here, it would be middle, would be 50%. So 50% would point here. And now another 50%. So depending on X and Y axis coordination, horizontal or vertical. From this, if you are going to the right side, this is what? Horizontal. From top to bottom or bottom to up, like this, if we are going, it is nothing but vertical, right? So that directions is what we are just specifying. So first direction is horizontal, which means left to right, that way. And vertical, again, top to bottom. So again, 50% if we say, top to bottom, 50% if we say, again middle. So 50%, 50%, if we give 50%, 50% would point in the center of this area. So that is percentage wise. But then yeah, later when we actually, if you come across some scenario uh, uh, using this, then it would be clear to you. I know if I say this, and then until and unless you use that, you won't be able to understand the complete end to end. But yeah, few things at least if you get it. And when you, be using this? First of all, by default, when a normal thing, our requirement, like, okay, you just want to click it, and normal click if you do, so based on this click, if Tosca is working fine, clicking the element we want, fine, we don't even need other options. But sometimes if we said click here, and then Tosca might be like uh, clicking somewhere else, and or this is the section, and when we highlight it, so let's say the area is not only this much, the area was from here to here, it was there. So in that case, when we say click, it can click in the starting or center or somewhere. So depending on where Tosca by default it gives 0 to 0, so mostly the center it try to click. So if the area, when I say area, if this is this whole thing, and in this, if you just say click, it would point to the center of this thing. But then sometimes center you don't want, you want from the starting to be clicked. So that is where you can, you have to use that percentage and pixels option. That one I don't want to confuse you with now. So by default, let's
Pradeep,
say, okay,
uh,
yeah.
Pradeep, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, Pradeep. So we are giving elements correctly, right? So why the mouse will go to other place? You are getting right. We are already finding a unique elements in the modules, and then only we are trying to do it. So why the mouse will go to the other elements? Like
So it won't go to the other element. It won't point that. Basically, it would be pointing to that only. But sometimes some elements like different application again, we don't know. So we have encountered such situations wherein depending on how developer has developed that application and some complexity of that element. Let's say this is their mouse over we have to do, and then we get some other element, and sometimes the screen resolution gets changed or something or the other. When it happens, uh, even that Tosca thing default, it sometimes it doesn't work, to be frank. It points to somewhere else. So we just have to use a default one, see if it is working. Else, if it is not working, only then you have to, yeah, find some other alternate in this ways. But yeah, very rare scenarios where it is going to change, so you don't have to worry about that part.
okay,
uh,
got it. Yeah.
yeah. I'm just saying what all options are available, kind of things, and when what all. As I said, I would be sharing my experiences, what all things I have did. So these things, when I'm saying it for now, yes, it might not be useful to you, but later when you're working actually on the project, and at that time, if you get doubts, this thing, then you can somewhere. If I have covered it, you would be able to relate. Okay, I have said this way. Okay, I can I try that and see? Is what you can look into. Oh. So this is what login, and yeah, I want to click on this now. So I use this click thing, and so as I said, this is so this test cases. Now if you see, first is open application, step one is clear, second and third. Now this is what home page, login page, but I don't know what are we doing. So the test step that we are doing should be more clear, precise. And here, as we know, we are clicking on login link. So the same thing, even the test step, manual test step would say, first step, launch open application. Second step, click on login link. So same law, click on uh, login link is what we can write it. And then now if you see step, this is clear. Okay, this step, what it is doing, it is clicking on login. Now third step, like that. So what it does is it clicks on this login link in that sense, and then we get this screen. Now next thing, if you see, we have what the next module. The next module also we have already scanned, and the next step that we want to perform is somewhere again they would say, see if you are able to now verify on this login page that you are getting a message called welcome, please sign in. If they say that, if our test case wants that, and then once we verify this part, then you can just enter email ID, you can enter password, and then say login. Click that. The first step, again in that test case, if our test case demands, if it wants to verify some sort of data. So as an example, I said we want this one if it is appearing. How we can do that? So first go to the module section. We can scan a new one, or if we have already scanned the similar page and we have scanned this elements, but we want another element again. So in this case, what we can do is open that module, right click on that module and say rescan. And as soon as you click on rescan, so it is nothing but we are trying to rescan that page, redo it again. So this four elements, whatever we did, is also kind of would be shown. And when on this screen, it would be shown if those elements are present and correctly mapped, it would be highlighted. Would you like to consider image based? Sorry, this might result. So image based. So see, sometimes this image based things, it tries to create some issues. That's where in real time we very hardly going to use this image thing. So no, just leave that. So you see, based on image thing, image one is it is not being identified, this property. So if you use now remember me in your test case, it might not identify that remember me thing because it is not properly mapped, this thing. So But then if you see other things, we have email, password, login on that page. Everything is unique and properly. The properties, whatever we have taken, is correct, fine, working good. So we don't have to do anything with that. Only thing is, since we want another element, which is this thing, so what I will do is open the screen, and again I'll click on select on screen. So as soon as I click on this thing, so I can now scan this page. So I can click whatever I want. And as I said, we just want this. So I will click select this. As soon as I select this, we get that element. I'm done with scanning now. So if I see the property, now what is the property of this? So if you see inner text, it is doing and some, it is saying some spaces and then welcome, please sign in. Many spaces are there right here. And then tag is outer. So let's say I don't want to take inner text. Tag is div on that. And if you see it is not unique, and how to make it unique, take some other properties. Inner text, yes, we can take it, but since the spaces have been involved, I sometimes not prefer having this. Because spaces, if something less or more again goes changes, then this thing won't work. So instead of this, we have some property called class name, page title. Let's say what we get, this page title. See, if you have clicked this, we have got uh, the unique item for this. So this is again unique. Or we have default name, you see. So if you don't select this, as I say, I would prefer default name. Click this default name and see, it is unique. So I'm fine with this as well, right? And I'll say save. So as soon as you save here in this, that particular thing gets added. So save it here. You see this element has come, and now close. And now you don't have to again drag and drop this thing into your test case, because Tosca, what it does is it already handles it. So for this module, we have wherever we have called it, in all that places, this new module, this new thing would be shown. Now this all fields are being shown, but it is not being used. So it is not going to affect any of your previous test cases as well. If you are adding any of the elements furthermore, it is not like if you have added, if it is there, if it is going to consume this until and unless you explicitly ask it to use, this won't be used. So if you see, this is disabled kind of thing, and no value, nothing is present, no action mode, especially the action mode. Since this is empty, yes, you're not doing anything with that. So if you see in the other one, login, we have just used login. We also had registered, but we haven't used it. See, nothing, no action mode, no value, nothing. So in this case, we have n number of items, but we are only using one. So this is where, if it is disabled, yes, it is not going to cause any harm to our test step. So likewise, since we have this, and the next step, as I was saying, I wanted to, as soon as I click on login, I wanted to verify if the login page is is displayed with this message, this inner text. We had seen, right, this uh, text is present in the inner text attribute, the value, it was there, right? So same thing, or else what I will say is, for easier thing for now, this element I've taken it, and first thing what I would do is I would go to action mode. Action mode, as I was saying, okay, first point, in action mode, what do we have? We have input. Input, we know, if we are trying to pass some data from our Tosca to the application, we give it as input. Verify is nothing but if we are verifying some sort of data from Tosca in the application, then we give verify. Now buffer is nothing but a value to store. So if we give buffer and some name, so what are we doing? We are trying to store some value into our Tosca from application. from application. For example, when we use this buffer is, let's say if you wanted to, like after login, we see username, email ID, welcome Pradeep, or welcome, yes, my email ID pradeepdawalji@gmail.com is displayed. And that thing, if I just want to store from application, if it is going to be displayed and I want to store it, so how to store? I would scan that particular section, area, place on that page where it is displaying, and then I'll come here and select the action mode as buffer and store that in some variable, some value. I would say, okay, this is my username or username, something like that. So when we say buffer, it is going to store the variable, the value of that particular field into this variable what we give, and wait on. So this wait on is especially used when you want to. So couple of things. Before going to this wait on, what I want to discuss is, so let's say you have opened an application, and sometimes if you click on login link immediately, so the Tosca, what it does is it performs steps in a fraction of seconds, quickly. Once it does this, then it goes to the next, it goes to the next, quickly it does that way. But as you know, like when you manually see the application, when you open some sort of application, loading, it sometimes it takes less time, sometimes it takes more time, depending on how many elements, what type of application it is, and where it is launched, the RAM, or yeah, whatever the configurations developer has used. So some websites, some application takes bit more time to load, sometimes less time. So if it is taking more time, how would you handle that kind of situation? So you have launched, but you want to click, but this screen is not coming immediately. If it is not coming immediately, then this step gets failed, saying, okay, this has not found, Tosca has not found this element. So in that case, what we have to do, we have to wait for a while between this action, from this action to this action. So how we can wait? uh, to wait, so let's say there are, again, multiple things, couple of options. One is default. Again, in standard modules, we have a module for wait, which is, okay, I'll right click, search and add step. I'll say it is T-box wait. You see this wait. So this module, which is coming from module, standard module, T-box automation tool, timing, T-box wait. So if you see this, we have got this T-box wait, this module. Now, if you right click jump, you would be seeing it. Standard module, T-box automation tool, timing, T-box wait. So T-box wait is allows to perform a wait, and the duration, when you see duration of wait in milliseconds. So time would be in milliseconds. So for
Pradeep,
this,
so this wait functionality is, same as that of in Java, right? Like,
right,
the whole program stops for some time and then it again,
correct. This is
starts. Yeah,
this is now a static wait. Static wait, wherein in Java we have sleep, thread dot
yeah.
sleep we use, right? So
That's it.
same
Yes.
way, same thing. What this action would do is, first of all, I want this after this step. So I would drag and drop, keep it here, and then let's say I want to wait for 5 seconds. So when I want to wait for 5 seconds, in the value section, we need to give 5 and 3 zeros, wherein 1000 is nothing but 1 second. 1000 millisecond is nothing but 1 second, and the time unit, as we see for this, it is in milliseconds. So 1000 millisecond is 1 second. So we want 5 seconds. So that's why 5000 milliseconds. 5000 milliseconds we give. Now this is nothing but we are waiting for 5 seconds. So what Tosca would do, first action when it performs this, it goes immediately to the next one. In this step, it says, okay, we have wait. I need to wait for 5 seconds. So 5 seconds, it opens this application and it doesn't do anything for 5 seconds. For 5 seconds, it won't do anything. And then after 5 seconds, what it does is it goes to the next step. And in next step, we have Okay, just a second. Yeah, so here, as I said, this T box wait is going to give us time in milliseconds. So 5 seconds I want, 5,000 is what I write. And then first action it performs this, then it waits for a while for whatever time we have specified, 5 seconds. So here we need to say that wait for 5 seconds. So open application, wait for 5 seconds, then it goes to the next step after 5 seconds and it clicks. So this is wait time, right? And the next thing. So let's say we have got uh, we have given, instead of 5 seconds, let's say we have given 50 seconds and 50 seconds. So every time waiting for 50 seconds for a page to load, but on that particular page, let's say that page has appeared uh, not in 50 seconds, just let's say in 30 seconds it has appeared. So in that case, we are waiting for extra 20 seconds, which is not again good practice. So what if the application is again opening or launching this in after 1 minute? Let's say if it is waiting after 1 minute, then our step test script, it gets failed. Why? Because we were just waiting for 50 seconds, and after 50 seconds we are trying to click login, and we, after 50 seconds, if we don't get this, the script gets failed, but our application is still loading, and after 1 minute it gets load. So there is a mismatch, right? And it gets failed. So how to handle this kind of scenarios wherein dynamically you just have to wait for some element, some option, something to load? So that's where this wait on option helps us. So wait on option helps us to dynamically wait for any specific element. So when we select this, wait on, and here what we will be doing is, in the value section we will be selecting this property, and we will have all these options. So we have enable, exist, in inner text or visible. So uh, I'll say exist to be true. So when I say this way, so what it does is, it would, after this action is performed, next step is this thing. It says action is wait on for this element, welcome please sign in page, to be exist. So it tries to like, even if the application is loading, immediately doesn't executes completely this thing. So it keeps on waiting until this element is exist or visible, or what all option we have: exist, visible, enable, all these things. We get it that way. So this is where this dynamic wait on helps us. And what are the other options? If you see, other option is select and constraint. So these two things I would want you to remind me in later part of section. Basically, this would come into picture when it is like we are interacting with a table based element. So that thing, again, going forward, I will explain that scenario. But yeah, select and constraint, let's understand it in at that point of time. So these are all action modes that we have thing. And I hope this is clear. And this would be again interview questions. What all action modes are available, and can you brief something about all of those? So you have to just give these examples and tell the same way what I was telling. So any questions in this? Oh, if there are no questions, yes, I'll move forward. So first thing, as I was saying, what I want next thing after clicking on login, my test case was to verify login page is displayed with welcome message. if our manual step says this part, so we will write this particular thing. And then how to verify now? We would verify. So this welcome message, we have already scanned that element, right? Here we have scanned, and then in the action mode, I will click verify. And here, what I would verify, again, same thing as on wait on what we put, same thing for this element to be visible or exist or enable anything. You can take it. I'll take general exist and then true. So if this element exists and if this verification is success, I'll say verifying the pages displayed with welcome message is also success. So I consider it that way. Like this, this is our next step. So this is the verification part. Same way, any other thing, any other elements, yes. If they say, okay, see if yeah, an element on the login page with email ID field is displayed or not. If it is there, if it says that way, verify, and then even verify these things. So if since your test case is explicitly saying to do this, yes, you have to do this. But if general sense, if you just want to do only one, if you do on that page, that would be fine. But yeah, if your test case is saying to do multiple things, yes, you can do it this way. And after verifying, next thing I want to just enter some things to the field, right? So I'll drag and drop onto my test case. And the next step is to enter email ID. So here, and this is what I'm testing an invalid functionality related, right? Or first test case, what I will do is I won't do that thing. So only open application, click on login link, verify if the login page is displayed, and the next step is I'll just close this thing. I won't do this thing. So my first step is first test case is, or I will leave this one like that only. Copy. I will remove this. So let this first test case be like that. Actually, in this first test case, I'll say verify login page is my test case, and ID, as I said, 001 underscore verify login page is my test case name. So I'll give this, and it is in one. So assume this test case is not there, or that is just for reference. So this test case we have, I have just copy pasted it. And if you say we have this 4 steps, first is we are opening application. Second, we are waiting for time, some 5 seconds. Third, we are clicking on login link. Fourth, this thing. And again, clicking on login link, we can click with this sort of the thing, or we have another option, which is X. If you just say X, it clicks, it goes and clicks here. So I want you to just have closely look what this click is doing, what X is doing. So basically this click, it drags, if your mouse is here and you know the element is here on the login. So when you use that click from this mouse pointing it from here, it goes there and it clicks. And when you say X, mouse is wherever, it doesn't matter. It just directly performs click in the background. So that's the difference between X and click. And next step is to verify this thing. And after verifying, I want to enter email ID password thing, right? So what I would be doing, I would be dragging and dropping this module into my next test case and rename first. I would be enter enter email. My next step is to enter email. So in the email field, uh, I want to enter what email. So this is related to login page. No, this is just verify login page. I have already verified. like all step 1 to 4, whatever I want, it is done, and I want to just close this application that is launched. So how we can close? Right click. Here we have something called close browser. Again, same thing. It is coming from HTML. This thing, close browser. So if you click this, you get the close browser and the title of the page. So if you see the title of the page, it is demo webshop.login. So same way, if you want to close that tab, we have to give same way demo webshop.login. And when you give that part, exactly if it has to match to close it. So that way you can give. But let's say we know out of this complete thing, demo is there, and after demo I don't bother about what it is, and I want to close the tab. So I would say I would give it as in regular expression way we say it, and then what we do is demo and then star, which means the browser has to be closed with title who's having the value demo, and then after demo I don't care what it is, so close that part of the browser tab. So this step, if we just do it, so if you see here, this thing is there, right? Now if I just I can execute again. When it comes to execution, as I said, we can right click, and then we have something called run in scratchbook, and we are running one particular step, or we can execute the whole test case by selecting the test case, right click and run in scratchbook, or with the shortcut F6. So I just want to execute this one. So I'll just say right click, run in scratchbook. Now with this demo star, since I have given, now if you see, this tab should be closed. You see the tab has closed. I didn't do anything, but the script has done it. So if you see the script, it is green in color, and that's where the tab has been closed, and you would get this details. I'll go on to that part later. But yeah, demo star, if we give it, it is going to work in that way. Now, if you see our step, open application, launch this, and verify this part and close. This is our first test case. First test case with this thing. So verifying login page. Now, how to execute? As I said, just right click on the test case, run, and then it should execute. But here, first step, if you say open application, and we are opening a browser. Now, what browser are we opening? So when you use this open URL module, and here it would open a browser, whatever, uh, by default, if you don't give anything, you have not given anything anywhere, and you have just used that open URL. So in that case, what it does is it is going to use the system with default apps. So if you say open URL is going to use the default browser that we had set for our web browser in our system. So our system, it has some default apps by default, right? So here is Edge. If you want Edge, you can keep. Else, if you want to change it to something else, yes, you can change it. I want Edge, so I'll keep it that way. And now if you see, if you execute this test case, it is going to execute in Edge. Edge is over here. Now if you see, it would when it is executing, it would be launching that part. A tab has opened with that login thing. And now if you see, the script is going to fail. Can someone tell me why it is going to fail?
Because you have taken all the elements from Chrome.
Okay. Yeah. Again, yeah. Such questions, such doubts I wanted. So no. If you have scanned done your module, and uh, whatever you have scanned, you have did in one particular browser. So the Tosca, again, it has that speciality wherein it those elements, those things would be working across all the browsers, whatever are available. So it's nowhere like this is only specific to Chrome. And again, if you want to do with Edge, again, we don't have to do, again, we have to scan and do for Edge. It is not like that. So again, as an advantage, I would say, yes, you can add this part as well. What is our advantages if you want to specify of Tosca? This is again another advantage wherein one browser, one thing, if you just do it, we don't have to again redo it for the other browser. So in that case, yes, that's not the case.
It is
So
not
what
added
could
to the repository, Pradeep. Is it added to repository?
what is not added to repository?
That green symbol will be displayed, right? Can you go back to
Okay.
modules?
Yeah, it
It
is
will.
not added. No, no, even that is not going to affect. So if you see the step now, oh, sorry, I shouldn't have executed. Wait, let it. If you say it is waiting and then it is getting failed, a red color in the sense it is failing after how many seconds? You also see the seconds time and all, so that it would be helpful. 16 seconds somewhere after that. So it is getting failed. Now, if you see the thing, what is the message? It says no login info. In this, you would be seeing it. No matching tab was found with the following properties: title, demo, web shop. But if you see, title is demo web shop. Still the same, but it is not doing anything. It is not identifying it. So the reason
Can we
is
get a link over there, Pradeep? Is it a possible way?
what?
We can give the link over there, like without giving demo workshop over there. Can we just place the link? Is there any
Mm,
possible way like that?
no, no. So link again, those properties. This is actually it is coming from. If you see this element, this module, right click jump, and this module for this properties, in this properties you see this title, so that message, that log, it is showing from here. So how this module was identified based on that properties. So if you take something else over here, that something else would be shown there. So we have identified this module with title, with this property, that's why it is showing there. Now this is in Scratchbook, right? So I'll just tab it here. So this is with this properties, it is showing it is failing because of this. Now if you closely see, one thing that you should have remember is first time to work on this Chrome, what we did for the first time when you wanted, when you have to work on Chrome.
We added extension.
Correct. So same thing, have we did it for Edge. If you say there's nowhere, and first check, even if it is there or not, first your check should be, do we have extension? And if we have extension, is it the same, uh, uh, again this extension, whatever it has, is it of the version what it is compatible with the current uh, Tosca thing. So about Tosca, when you see it is 14.2. So is it compatible with this 14.2? Is what our uh, second version, second check should be. If first thing, for any browser, extension is there or not. Extension, if it is there, and if it is not working fine, then see if the version Tosca extension is proper or not. And if you think, okay, Tosca version is also compatible proper, how we can make sure it is there? So just same way, uninstall the extension that is there, and then try to scan any element. Even the other guys in my company, they had these doubts and they even don't know how to do this. Even they're having close to what, 2 3 years of experience. This things very rare things, since it would be there, even they don't know it. So how we can do that? So modules, again the same thing what I shown you in my previous session. So right click on a module and then select something in the web browser of Edge. Try to scan this page, and Tosca by default it suggests you to download, install this extension. So click that, select it, and then extension would be installed, and there you go. After that, rerun it. It should be working fine. So that is why this particular test case was failing. Now I don't want to execute it in Edge. I want to execute it in what Chrome. So how I can do? So go to the test configuration properties. So you see, if you see the test step, you won't have that option. So you have to either go to the test case or the folders, any folder. So for now, I just want to go to my test case, click this, and here in the test configuration parameter, right click, and we have something called create test configuration. So yeah, I guess I'll teach this in tomorrow's session because I want to also give more brief on other configuration parameters. So yeah, this I will teach you in the next session. So I guess I'm done with today's session. So any doubts, anything for today, if you have, just please let me know in this whatever we have discussed till now.
Nothing as of
So
now.
right,
Once you
okay
practice
then.
or once you get hands on, then we can use
Correct.
it.
So I would suggest yes, keep practicing these things, whatever we are doing. Keep practicing. Pick any application of your own choice, or if you don't find any other, and then if you want to use demo web shop, use the demo web shop and do it by yourself. So keep practicing doing that part, and see you should be able to automate at least till whatever the concepts I am covering, whatever things I am discussing in the sessions, is what I would want you all to practice it, and then uh, yeah. Uh, so while practicing, you would find some doubts, some things, and then there is what you would be able to have more understanding.